Hi there, welcome back to the Art of Business English, where we help you get the skills that you need to succeed in any business English speaking environment. Andrew Ambrosi is here for episode 137, and today I am here alone actually. My colleague Loic is away on business, so I'm flying solo, and I thought I would be looking at 10 expressions to help you express like uncertainty or to help you speculate. Now, we do this a lot. We do speculation. We speculate every day. So just to help you get in the context, I'm going to basically give you the definition of speculating. And also, I mean, there is a difference between speculating on the stock market and speculating about or expressing uncertainty. So what we're going to be mainly focusing on today or looking at today is speculating in terms of when you're not certain or you're not 100% sure about something, or you are making an educated guess. Okay, so that's different from speculating on the stock market, which is basically when you are betting, you are buying stock or selling stock because you think the price will either go up or down, or you're shorting stock or whatever. So we're not really looking at speculating in terms of the stock market. Okay, we're going to be just looking at speculating or expressing these expressions to express uncertainty in your next meeting, or maybe in emails or wherever, anywhere, any form of business communication. Okay, we do it a lot. It's something we do every day. So these expressions are going to be very useful for you. And the great thing is that a lot of them are actually like some really native. Like we use these a lot in very natural ways. So let's dive in and take a look at 10 expressions for speculating. Okay, so let me look here. The first one on my list is to wonder. Now, to wonder basically means to think about something, or to ask oneself about something, or to be curious. So wondering is really a good thing because you should have a curious mind in this day and age. So an example would be, I wonder what time Jim will arrive. So you're actually asking yourself the question. You're not sure. So you could put that out there to everyone in the meeting. So I wonder what time Jim will arrive, meaning you're not certain and you're wondering when. Okay, let's look at the next one of our list, which is kind of, and that basically means to some great or small extent, which, to some or great small extent. So kind of could be either a lot or not much of something, really. So you're either sort of sure or you're not sure. Okay, let me give you an example. She kind of looks lost. So maybe you should see if she is okay. So if you say she's kind of lost or she kind of looks lost, it means that you think she's lost, but you're not 100% certain. You would just be basing that on what you are seeing, okay, and maybe her body language or her actions. Okay. Another one is hazard a guess. Now, this is not that common, but it's still quite a very native expression that we use. Maybe it's the first time you've heard it. So hazard basically is if something is a hazard, it's like a danger, or it's something, an obstacle that could get in your way. So if you hazard a guess, it means you're basically like making, or you're taking, or you're uncertain. It's an uncertain guess. You're not really sure. So it's to take an uncertain guess at something, okay? So an example would be, I'd hazard a guess and say that he was born in Brazil. So if you hazard a guess and say that the person was born in Brazil, you're not certain, but you probably think they're from Brazil, maybe because of the way they look or their accent, and you're taking a bit of a guess and you're not really certain. Okay. Looking at the next one, which is looks to me, very common, very native, very easy to say. Looks to me, often the subject here is it. Okay. It looks to me, and then you could put as well. It looks to me as, or you could put it looks to me as though. So let's take a look at the meaning. It basically means seems to me, or I guess, or appears to me to be. Okay, so there's an appearance of something about it. And an example is, it looks to me as though we won't meet our expansion targets. So, based on the data, based on what you're seeing, you would say, it looks to me as though we won't meet our expansion target. Because obviously in this situation, maybe the company is not growing at the speed or the pace that you have set as a target or a goal. And, when you're looking at the data and you're reflecting on it, you can see that it's not going to work out. So you can make a guess by saying, it looks to me. Okay, let's look at the next one, which is make a guess. Now, it's really important that you know which verbs collocate with a guess, and make is one of them. You can also have a guess, take a guess. So those are really important. You can't do a guess. That's really, really important that you don't make that mistake. So make a guess is basically, the meaning is to give an opinion about something that you are not really sure about because you don't have enough evidence and you're not really certain or if it's true. Okay, so that's a really great definition of someone who's speculating. And an example would be, if I had to make a guess, I would say that he's about 70 years old. Now, what you'll notice is that because we're using this speculative language, we are in many cases forced to use conditionals. So in this case, in this example, I'm using the if conditional. So the first in the first clause we're using the simple past. So if I had to make a guess, and then the second clause we're using the conditional I would say. Okay, so that's the second conditional. So it's really important that you understand how to use the first, second, and third conditional in English, as well as mixed conditionals, to be able to use these speculative expressions well and correctly. So, yeah, speculating often involves the use of conditionals, in this case, the if conditional in English. Okay, let me turn now to the next one, which is to give the impression of. Now, if to give the impression of, it basically means to seem or appear like something. So very similar to the others. And the example is, he gives the impression of someone who can't be trusted. So if someone gives you the impression that they can't be trusted, then, it's not good. The body language, the vibe, the way they make you feel, it's not great. And that person, generally to you, is someone who seems untrustworthy. Okay, let's continue then with the next one, which is seems to me. Now, seems to me is pretty similar to the rest. We often put the subject it seems to me. So it's referring to the thing that is in question. And the definition is it appears or looks like. So, the meaning of a lot of these is very similar. That's why they're speculating language. Let's look at an example. It seems to me that we need to make some adjustments to our initial plan. So you would use this expression when, you've analyzed the data, and from what you can see, it seems to you that needs to happen. Okay, there needs to be a change. And, in that situation, you may not have all the data, and maybe you're just suggesting something to someone in a meeting. You don't want to be like, we have to change the plan. You are saying, well, it seems to me. So it's very suggestive. It's less direct, and this can be great in a meeting when you don't want to be like really pushy, and you're negotiating or you're discussing ideas. So really important that you understand the nuances of why we would speculate. Okay, let's look at the next one, which is pretty sure. Okay, so pretty is a really commonly used word in English. We use it a lot to soften or when we're certain or almost certain. So it's like in Spanish, you would say bastante, estoy bastante seguro, meaning you're not 100%. In English we use pretty, which can be interchanged with quite, okay, or can be interchanged with fairly. So these can be like really changed between the three of them, and they mean the same thing. In Spanish, that would just be the same word, bastante. So, there is a bit of flexibility there, but we use them a lot in English. We use them a lot in meetings because, sometimes we don't want to commit completely or fully to something. So we use pretty sure, fairly sure, I'm quite sure. Okay, because if you're 100% sure, that could be a problem if in the end the situation or the thing in discussion that you're discussing is not true or is not 100% accurate. It could make you look bad. So instead of saying, I'm sure, I'm 100% certain, you would say, I'm pretty sure. Okay, meaning is quite certain or almost certain about something. So you can see you're giving yourself a little bit of room in case things change. Okay, example. I am pretty sure that we agreed in the last meeting that the deadline was this Friday. Can someone check the minutes? So, you're almost certain that the deadline was that date. Maybe you're the boss and your staff has said, no, you said the deadline was next week, when it was in fact, that you said it was this Friday. But instead of being, aggressive and saying, no, I said it was this Friday, you could say, well, I'm pretty sure I said this Friday. And then to get the clarification, you ask someone to check the minutes from the last meeting. And then it's revealed that, yes, you were correct. Okay, so these are some of the games or tactics or techniques you can use in a meeting so that you seem less direct, less aggressive, but at the same time you are transmitting your message to people so they understand what you mean. Okay, and dare say. Okay, so to dare is at school we played the game, truth or dare. So a dare is when it's atreviarse. I think it's atreviarse in Spanish. It's when you so I dare you to kiss the girl on her cheek. Okay, when you're young, you do dares. Or truth, when you have to say something that's true. Someone asks you a question and you have to tell them the truth. So to dare say something basically means you are taking the risk of saying something even though you're not really certain. So basically that's the meaning. You're not 100% certain, so you're going to take a risk and say it anyway. All right, so an example would be, I dare say you seem to have got your dates confused. The meeting isn't until next week. Okay, so in this case, you think the person has confused their dates, but instead of saying, no, you're wrong, because maybe you're not 100% certain, maybe the meeting is this week and you're wrong. So instead of saying to the person, no, you're wrong, it's next week, you would say, I dare say you seem to have got your dates confused. And this is a bit more polite than saying, no, you're confused, or you've got your dates wrong. And also it covers you a little bit in case you are the one, in fact, who has confused the dates or made a mistake. Okay, coming to the end now. This is our last one, and could be. So could be is pretty easy, I mean, we use this a lot. It's conditional, the conditional of can. So could be is to express possibility. So again, we use conditionals a lot to discuss or to talk about probability or possibility. So an example would be, he could be the new hire, but I can't say for sure. So, you're making a suggestion, you're speculating about this person as, have they just been employed by the company? Are they the new employee? And you clarify that statement by saying, I can't say for sure, or I'm not certain, but you're speculating. So those are 10 expressions that you can use to talk about speculating or express uncertainty or possibility in English. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode, and I'm sure you have found these expressions useful. Now, my final thoughts on these are that, once you start becoming aware of situations where you're speculating, I encourage you this week in your next working week to just be aware of situations where you might need to speculate and start using these expressions. They're really easy to put in. They're really easy to adopt. They're very native. They'll make your English sound much more natural. And, once you become, a bit sensitive or aware of what, circumstances you're using this language in. So when you are, you're required to speculate on something, then these opportunities will become clearer to you, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, I can use one of these expressions. If you wanted to take your time, you could write some into an email, because then you've got maybe more time to think about their use. Be careful with the conditionals, so the conditional structures of the if conditional structures. Make sure you're using them correctly. And if you have any questions about them, just feel free to drop me a comment on social media or over the website. And good luck with using them. They're really easy, they're really native, and they make your English sound much, much more professional. So that's it from me. Don't forget that if you do want to improve at emailing or your business performance in business meetings, then here at the Art of Business English, we have 2 courses. We have our emailing course, Excellence in Email Writing, which is a full program on helping you become much more articulate and write better, clearer emails. And we also have our course, Confidence in Business Meetings, which will help you to become much more confident, much more effective, and much more efficient at running and participating in meetings in English. So check those out. They're all there on the website at the Art of Business English. Well, that's it from me this week. I hope you've enjoyed the material and the content. As always, it's a pleasure. And if you love the Art of Business English, be great if you could drop us a 5-star review over at iTunes, on Spotify, or anywhere else where we have the podcast broadcast. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye for now.